All right, bro. We'll look at, it's been a pleasure working with you. We'll look at how you are throwing. So right here, I think your back leg, as soon as you start, you go into that. I want you to, you're starting bent and then you're getting bent. So you're kind of stuck here in this back leg, and go off your back hip. Crap. Go off your back hip right here into that knee. You're at 91 degrees, so you're squatting well, and that's something that you do well. But the transfer, you never really get up at that hip that I'm going through, and then that back heel never really turns. Now it's turning, but it should have turned a lot earlier than that. And right here you can see, and you feel it when we talk about this, your back foot goes this way. And that's a big problem, because we need to go forward and drive through that back leg going forward, not coming this way. So power to the back leg is a huge weakness, and we can work on that a ton today. Let's see here. So at plant foot, you have good angles as far as your back leg and front leg, 118 degrees. You have great flexion, good separation. As you drive into that back leg comes off the ground, and that's not what we want. So that power of the back leg, we want to keep that back leg on. We're going to measure your front knee about 119 degrees. So it's pretty low. Now it comes up before you throw the ball. Comes up a little bit. 127, but still needs to get better. Plant. Your knee gets on time, which is pretty good. Not bad. So it's not internally rotated, but your angle at your front leg, I think we need to get your hamstrings more involved and get that a little bit better. But all in all, pretty good out of the lower half. But biggest issue, I think, is the back leg and the front leg transferring. Let's look at your posture at ball release. So your posture's here. And when you start up, that's not too bad. So the faster, we talked about this the other day, the faster that this chest can come around, right, over this, this is where your chest is and this is where your knee is. The faster that can happen to cut across your body, the harder you throw. Because when you don't do that, the arm flies outside the elbow and your chest is outside of that knee. So that posture-wise, you need to make sure that you're trying to get to that position as fast as you can in your front knee. A lot of it has to do with your back leg, and a lot of it has to do with your front knee. And that front knee, we got to really focus on that today and really get into that. So let's look at stacking. I think you could stack even more. I want this head behind that foot. And right now you see you're going, and then I'm driving. I want you to stay back a little bit longer and then delay this push like you do. You delay it pretty well. But I think you separate your hands a little bit early as well. So I think you could hold on to the ball a little bit longer and then separate later and then be on time. So I think timing-wise, I think a lot of it has to do with you separating from that glove a little bit earlier. Not to mention front glove. That front glove stays wide and then you pinch. I'd like you to see how long that front arm is, and then you pinch, and then I throw. If that front glove could just pinch early, that's going to rotate that back side through a little bit better. So I think your front glove and the timing of how you separate your hands and your front glove are going to be huge. I think that's something that we need to work on today. What else? We're going to look at chest. So front glove, we have a little bit of a high elbow here, and I think that's why you potentially, have that pain. It doesn't feel great right here. So, you're about 13 degrees up, so there is a little bit of, you can see it right here, shoulder, elbow. So it is elevated a little bit. So elevated distal humerus, that's we need to work on that as well today, because today is going to be a little bit of a lighter day to give you some rest, so we can go hard next week. Look, I found a bee right there. There's a little fly or something. It's weird. So high elbow, definitely an issue. Chest extension. Let's see. And this is where that lat, we talk about that lat being an issue, or that key muscle that pulls down. You're about 40 degrees. I think you could get to like 48 degrees. But the reason why your chest doesn't want to go down is because that front knee doesn't want to come back, and that back leg needs to stay consistent. So if I did the measurements on your back hip again, took that back hip to the shoulder, and then I took this down 180. Your back foot's off the ground, and that's why that chest doesn't want to go. If that back foot was on the ground and we brought it to that line, and that front knee came back, you'd have some functional balance to be able to drive that chest and throw harder. So you're missing velocity from two key points: back leg, front knee, and your chest. So those are key in driving through that ball. All right. So chest extension. Last thing we got is arm fly out. It's not a big arm fly out. You have maximum layback here. Okay. And that's what happens when you describe your arm. Your arm goes out instead of going through. And if we can shave like just a few degrees off of that, that's going to come in handy and increase that velocity and create less stress. So we have a couple of things that could create stress: is your high elbow and then also your arm fly out. But I think a lot of it would be loosened up if that front knee was back and that stabilized back leg was there as well. So thanks so much for being here and letting me help you, and I'm looking forward to working with you at 11.